So a year and a half in Pattaya. That's honestly pretty wild to say out loud. But after a year and a half, what's different? Is life still the same? Am I still doing the same stuff for fun? Going to the same places, doing the same things? Well, my day-to-day, honestly, yeah, I do a lot of the same stuff. But over the past few months, there has been one pretty major change that has honestly really changed the way that I look at things. And is it something you should do? Coming to Thailand for the first time, especially Pattaya, it's a pretty safe bet that things are gonna be a little bit off the chain when you first get here, especially for my younger guys. When it comes to nightlife and cutting loose, it's no secret that there is plenty to do here. And when you first get here, it can honestly be a lot. Even for me, coming from a club background, I guess. I've been in nightclubs pretty much my entire adult life. I used to get paid to party being a DJ. And still, when you come to Thailand, especially Pattaya, there's just something different about it. Now, I could compare it to Vegas in America, even though it is much different, but there are things that are comparable. Mostly the fact that everybody here is essentially looking to do that. So sometimes, it can be a little much. Sometimes you're gonna wanna do other stuff, I'm assuming. Sometimes you're gonna not want to be hungover or go to the club almost every night. Today I'm down here kind of getting the lay of the land for the Water Jet World Cup. It's kind of set up just like how AMA Supercross is, dirt bike racing. Today is all the qualifying and everything. They do 2 qualifying runs, a last chance qualifier, and then all the main events are tomorrow. So I'm gonna come down and check it out then. When I could tell, tickets are 250 baht to get in. But one thing I did learn working festivals and clubs and stuff, I'm not saying you should do it, but if you wanted to, a high-vis vest and walking like you are supposed to be there will get you into quite a few places. But in reference to the party culture / lifestyle here in Pattaya, what has changed for me in the past couple months when it comes to all of that? Well, to be honest, I've kind of just really called it quits on full-blown partying. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll still go out and enjoy a couple beers every once in a while, but I've definitely pumped the brakes on the full-blown partying for a couple reasons. And honestly, if you're gonna be living here, it might be something that you wanna think about. We interrupt today's broadcast to bring you a breaking story out of Pattaya, Thailand. Yes, thank you very much, Jenny. This developing story is somewhat of bad news for anybody that may be a frequent viewer of Tempus TV. It's come to our attention that a very large majority of regular viewers are actually not subscribed to the channel. What does this mean moving forward? Well, the very scary possibility that you might not be updated when new videos go live. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do you solve this problem? Well, luckily for you, it's actually quite easy. You just go down below this video, click the subscribe button, click like on the video. That way you are notified every time a new video goes live and you don't have to worry on missing out and getting FOMO. Now, back to our regular broadcast. One of the main reasons, having to do with what you and I are both doing right now, has to do with making videos. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm hungover and I feel like death and I got a fat headache, the last thing I am is creative or just wanting to work in general. And now granted, YouTube videos are some of the best work I've ever done. Don't get me wrong, it is still work. And when you have a fat headache and you feel like shit, the last thing you want to do is come out here, stand in the sun, sit on the computer for 3 hours editing a video. So I'm just unmotivated, and that's not fair to you or me. So I really had to tone it back a bit because I realized I was wasting a lot of time essentially doing nothing, just sitting around eating pizza and watching YouTube instead of creating YouTube. But there's some other reasons as well. Now, even if you are somewhat of a lone wolf, I guess you could say, when you move to a new place, of course, it's nice and really essential to make some new friends. Even if it's not for your mental health, if you're trying to get the full experience of wherever you're going, It's always good to either meet some locals or people that have maybe lived there before you did, so you can get shown things that you might not be able to find on Google, or essentially get dragged to things that you might not have done on your own. And honestly, in Pattaya, this can be a little bit hard if you're not really trying to party all the time. But at the same time, if you are going out and partying, let's be real, a lot of the times that's not really the best way to build friendships. Now, I'm sure you've heard people say as well, you know, if you quit drinking, you will really find out who your friends are, and that is 100% a fact. Luckily, I learned this quite a while ago in America. I really pumped the brakes on just partying in general. One, because it was my job and I was going out all the time anyway. And two, just because some of that allure kind of wears off because you're there all the time. You end up seeing the same people every weekend and you kind of realize it's not really something you want to do forever. At least not me.
Yeah, what animal are you? The one who stays or the one who runs away like a prey?
Now, I think one of the best way to make new friends is to find a hobby that you like and then go and do it and find people that enjoy doing the same things, because then you can share that experience and then it's pretty easy to, you know, break the ice and just end up building relationships like that. But if you're going out and partying all the time and you're meeting people who are just interested in partying, that's all you're really ever gonna do. And now, if that's what you wanna do, by all means, live your life. I'm not your dad. But me, I didn't really move to Thailand to live at the club and be at the bar all the time. One, I feel like it's a big waste of money, especially because I'm spoiled in America. If I hadn't worked at that club, I have a friend who's a DJ or a bartender or something, so honestly, I never really had to pay for drinks. And then coming to Thailand, even though it is much cheaper, it's still kind of a bummer to have to pay a tab every single time you go out. And it adds up quick. So if you are planning on moving to Thailand, especially Pattaya, now if you're just coming for a visit, this probably doesn't really reign true for you. But if you are planning on moving here, it's definitely worth your time to consider if that's where you want to be, if that's where you want to meet people, and if that's essentially what you want to do all the time. Now me, I'm not getting any younger. The hangovers are getting worse. I've started to realize how useless I am when I am hungover. So that's a big reason. Another one is, honestly, I just feel like a lot of the times, those relationships that you build in those environments, they just don't really end up being good friendships, honestly. Now, of course, this isn't black and white. You can meet good people at the bar that are just like you, and then end up really having some good friends. But 9 times out of 10, if you're not interested in being a degenerate, then that's really not gonna happen. So just something to think about, guys. I am really glad that I kind of pumped the brakes on all that. It wasn't really a conscious decision. I didn't wake up one day and be like, oh, no more drinking or no more partying. It just kind of happened. I wasn't content with myself and the amount of work I was getting done, or just how unmotivated I felt. And even when I pushed myself to go make a video for you, when I was hungover, I felt like they just weren't up to par. And at least for me, I could tell that I wasn't really interested in making that video, and I feel like that really shows. So just keep that in the front of your mind. If you are trying to make some friends here, trying to build some relationships, or just not trying to be a hungover piece of shit all the time, it might be a good idea to find some other hobbies when you get here. Thank you for tuning in to another video. I will be down here and actually do a full-fledged video for the Waterjet World Cup tomorrow, so make sure you're staying tuned for that. If 500 plus horsepower jet skis and just racing in general is your thing, make sure you check that out. And like we always say, I hope you guys have a great day. We'll catch you in the next one.